just got back from Dubai, had 3 stages in one day, made almost $250,000. So there is lucrative in speaking when you understand how to speak and what the idea of speaking is. The secret sauce in the stage theory is capture. Nothing happens if you are not capturing enough or capturing your essence. You have no ability to create or modify, amplify through creation, and perpetuate that creation. The bigger stages and the bigger people that you surround yourself with will give you access to, you will have a consistent community of people at your frequency. Since 1981, Justin has been producing world-class Bordeaux-style wines from Paso Robles on California's Central Coast. As the pioneer of Paso, Justin wines are what put Paso Robles on the wine-making map. The Justin team believes that wine should be exceptional from every angle, which is why their team uses boutique winemaking practices like hand harvesting and hand sorting. With a rich history of accolades, Justin produces exceptional wines and is proud to be America's #1 luxury Cabernet. Whether you're the first-time wine drinker or a wine aficionado, Justin has a wine for every celebration and occasion. Visit justinwine.com and enter promo code PLAYBOOK20 for 20% off your order. Justin offers the perfect holiday gifts for clients, colleagues, friends, or family. Be sure to check them out at justinwine.com to receive 20% off your order for a limited time and use the promo code PLAYBOOK20.
Today, we're going to talk about speeches. So I am going up to the Grand Del Mar, and talking to a group of technology professionals for the MureTech Technology Summit. And I'm going to be talking about dynamic pricing. But I wanted to talk to Dave this morning and get his advice to our audience for how does David, when is your next speech?
Tomorrow morning, Jesse Itzler, Goggins, me,
Beautiful.
on the Aspire tour with Tim Story. So I'm flying to Chicago, your favorite place, and I will be on the Aspire side of it. And then Friday, I'll be in Irvine, speaking with Bedros and John Barrett at a mastermind there in Irvine. And then Saturday at the Napoleon Hill Archives in Wise, Virginia, where I'll make the biggest announcement of my career.
Oh, it's coming.
Saturday, along with the Napoleon Hill Institute at the Napoleon Hill Archives. And then we have the SoFi Mastermind as well. And then over 200 stages. Just got back from Dubai, had 3 stages in one day, made almost $250,000. So there is lucrative in speaking when you understand how to speak and what the idea of speaking is.
I'm going to share a quick story with the audience. And I remember listening to you on one of the many stages. I don't know which platform it was, but it was a piece of content because it wasn't in person. But you were sharing a story about going to Sydney Opera House and having a speech there. And I remember your daughter, she came on stage. You took your family with you, which I love because I travel with my family, my Walchef Wolf Pack. And your daughter was like, "Oh my gosh, this is incredible. I can't believe how many seats are here. Dad, aren't you going to be nervous?" Can you share that story?
Yeah, of course. And I think it's a real key element to anything that you want to do. I make a lot in coaching people when they say, how do I get better at this? And there's only one answer: practice. And so I said to my daughter, I said, well, sweetheart, why don't you come on stage when I go out on stage and clap for me? And she said, really? I said, yeah, but won't you be nervous clapping? She's like, no, I know how to clap. And I said, well, before I step on a stage, I want to make sure that I can articulate the lessons and the stories that I want to convey uh, with confidence and comfortability, the same as if I was clapping. I want to practice what I do enough where the confidence and comfortability is equal to that of something that is simple, something that I've done my whole life, like clapping. And a lot of people, I think, misunderstand and miscommunicate two things when it comes to speaking. One is, how do we become comfortable and confident in what a lot of people have as their greatest fear, which I find innately exciting for me, because I was born with an energetic and genetic inheritance of being a great speaker. I'm very comfortable. I love it, and always have from a young age. Where other people, it's their greatest fear. But moreover, you said something very interesting, and I think a lot of people haven't thought about content in this way. You talk about you're going to talk to a bunch of content creators. And I don't believe in that. And I think it's very indicative of how we learn to be great speakers. I look at myself as a content capture. I think I'm
Yeah.
one of the best content capturers in the world. I capture more of my essence, my skills, my knowledge, and my desire better than most people that you see. I pay content creators to create the content from that which I have captured. The secret sauce in the stage theory is capture. Nothing
Yeah.
happens if you are not capturing enough or capturing your essence. You have no ability to create or modify, amplify through creation, and perpetuate that creation. And so, in the stage theory itself, utilizing the whole world as your stage, over 7.6 billion people and growing with a more competitive environment, the bigger stages and the bigger people that you surround yourself with will give you access to more of the 7.6 billion instead of being random that one video pops a couple million
Yeah.
views. You will have a consistent community of people at your frequency.
The content capture is something that I have always taken closely to my heart. You talking about speaking to two people, but somehow repurposing. I mean, one of my favorite videos back before you had a very popular YouTube channel with hundreds of thousands of subscribers. You didn't have many YouTube subscribers when I first came across your channel, but the content was so powerful and it was so impactful that it made me go down the David Meltzer rabbit hole because it was about you leaving the Super Bowl with your son. You left your Super Bowl because you left the Super Bowl, gave tickets up before kickoff because you wanted to be with your son. And for me, that was what I needed. But you knowing that putting that content out there, despite the fact that it wasn't going to get millions of views back in the day, now it is. Now that piece of the irony is now that piece of content compounding interest, which we talk about all the time. But can you explain some advice to speakers about how you've learned how to better capture content when you go on stage? Because before you used to bring a big media team
Yeah.
that traveled with you. Can you share little insights there?
And look, you don't know what you don't know. And I was replicating who my mentor was, which was the extraordinary content creator and capturer, a man named Gary Vaynerchuk. And Gary had a posse with D Rock. And so I mirrored him with Jay Stone, which is Justin Pugh, and created a crew and did 100 vlogs, video logs of my travels. And that was the initial side of capturing my content, was to pay a crew of people to follow me around. That laid the foundation for me to understand content capturing, and then technology assisted over these years in order to facilitate the ability for convergence capture, where I'm capturing content on multi-platforms at once that was not available. The power and speed of the processing on a camera phone, the powerful tools of synthesized speakers and mics that allow me to follow me around. You know, I have a gimbal that is incredible that follows me around. You put it on a tripod and it will follow me around on a stage. And so, like any other parts of my business, and I'm sure it's true in the hospitality business for so many restaurant groups and other big companies that are in the industries utilize the careers and jobs, is that we have to take inventory of the capability that we're looking for and see where technology can do better than to make humans more human. You see, hospitality is about human nature, it's about human beings, it's about emotional attachment. And so many people in the hospitality industry are afraid of technology. And you'll see this today at the Grand Hotel with Papa, who's a friend of mine who owns that.
Papa Doug?
Papa Doug is the man,
Yeah.
but he is successful because he understands human nature and emotional connection, and people buy on emotion, especially food and drink and holiday. They buy on emotion for logical reasons. And if you don't understand technology makes humans more human, then you're missing the boat. This show is brought to you by BetterHelp. Therapy is a great tool for facing your fears and finding ways to overcome them, because sometimes the scariest thing is not facing our fears in the first place and holding ourselves back. It's helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. It isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Overcome your fears with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/playbook today to get a 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/playbook. Imagine starting a small business, your first customer, first hire, first real paycheck. But everything isn't just exciting, it's scary. That's where JustWorks come in, the all-in-one platform that supports small business growth. Access seamless tools that help with benefits, payroll, HR, and compliance with transparent pricing. It's time to make payroll painless, run payroll in 90 seconds or less, and automate payments so you can set it and forget it. Did you know in 2023 alone, they processed over 25.6 billion in trusted payroll customers? Don't worry about the paperwork piling up either. They take care of payroll tax documents and reporting to help you stay compliant. Visit justworks.com/podcast to join the thousands of small businesses that trust JustWorks to take care of payroll, benefits, compliance, and more. That's justworks.com/podcast.
When you go to conferences all over the world, let's get back to the speaking.
Yeah.
When do you deliver a new topic?
Whatever is asked for. Almost every time I step on stage, I'm delivering a new topic. You see, what people don't understand is when you become a great speaker, what you do is put things into context. And so you could give me any topic right now, and I could put it into a framework of context that already exists, that I'm practiced and well rehearsed in. And I'm just utilizing a framework and a context around a new idea. So when I went to GITEX in Dubai last week and had those 3 speeches, and look, there's no bigger conference. It's an investor and startup concert. They had 34 halls downtown Dubai and 20 halls at the harbor. That's 54 halls. And so, I did the keynote for New, which is like Verizon, their biggest telecom.
Yeah.
And, they gave me a topic, a new topic for me about AI. Everything is about AI. And I put it within the framework in the context of what I know, whether it be my values, daily practices, an execution model, or even how to motivate, incentivize, inspire people. All of those, you can give me any type of content to speak about. And I am an expert at putting things into context. And I know from my repertoire, my repository of lessons and stories, that I have thousands of lessons and stories that I capture every single week. And I only capture that what resonates with me, meaning I either strongly feel I agree with something, or most recently, I've learned I strongly feel like I disagree with something. I capture it, I put it into my inbox, I put it into a capture folder, and then on Sundays, I spend a minimum amount of time attaching stories, notes of stories, not the script, but if I'm going to teach be more interested than interesting, it still has a note, meeting my brother at the hospital, because I know that story. It just
Yes.
keys me off to the lesson that I learned from that actual memory, reminding and recollecting with the source, the inspiration that I had from that resonance of that lesson that I strongly agreed with and live by still to today. And so understanding how this all reconciles with one another in the philosophy of the stage theory, capture, modify, amplify, and perpetuate, you could start seeing how the stage theory itself is a contextual tool, which I can take other lessons and apply it to the context, the framework which I created with the Shakespearean stage theory. By the way, I gave a speech at Property Meld. Oh no, sorry, I was the keynote at Adweek 2 weeks
Oh,
ago.
really? Amazing.
Yeah, I keynoted Adweek, and my speech was everybody else went AI. And in fact, I was so stoked because everybody's like, "Are you going to talk about AI?" I said, "No, I'm going to talk about Shakespearean marketing," and that was the
Yes.
title of my speech.
Come on.
And yeah, and I blew everybody away at Adweek.
Is it obviously captured
Oh
somewhere?
yes, hell
Repurposed?
yeah,
I
brother! It
can't
was
wait. Now
huge.
we're talking.
Yeah, so you got to check
That's
that
gonna put a
video
link.
out.
We're putting a link to that in the article. That's
And
happening.
I do want to add one more thing. I know we got about 7 minutes or whatever you have. You're so good with time. One of the other fun stories about capture, modify, amplify, and perpetuate is my most popular video is about Dr. J being the coolest and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar being a dick when I was a ball boy for the Clippers. It is literally my, I don't know, it might be to 5 or 10 million views, right? It's
That's
very popular. Anyway, talk about how content works. Here, I did that interview a while back, maybe 2.5 years ago. The NBA just did an article uh, about that video,
come on.
and they fact checked it. Yeah, I'll text that to you. But they did an article about, so they put it into a normal article, and it was funny because, like I said, I was 12, and they're like, Dave was 14 when he was a ball boy for the Clippers. He and he said, and it's
Don't let
true
the facts
that
get in the way of a good
did, man.
story, Dave.
Yeah, but they checked it, and it was so awesome because they're like, yeah, the Lakers was his first game, and then a week later they played the 76ers. And I really appreciated the fact that they added credibility to my
Yes.
video because they verified before they wrote the article that my video was true,
Yeah.
which made it even more popular. And probably this podcast will make it even more popular. But make sure that you get the interview, my speech at Adweek, and I'll
Yes.
send you the article today, right after we get off of here.
How do you document for yourself? Do you take mental notes of audience feedback, whether that's in real life? Because part of this art of storytelling, this craft, you're almost like a comedian, the same way a comedian will tell by the time they hit their Netflix stage, they've told that joke tens of thousands of times and they've
So
iterated
true.
on it and they've made that joke that much better. Can you share a little bit about that before we let you go?
Well, I think it's really important. I learned it from Jay Leno. So it's funny that you utilize comedians as people because Jay Leno, I think, had 150 corporate paid dates that he would do
Wow.
before his monologue. And so the night before, he would test out jokes and continue reiterate jokes and get paid, by the way. He lived off of his speaking fees and saved every penny from NBC, by the way. Um,
Wow, I did not know that.
Amazing entrepreneur. But moreover, I do a ton of these. So I'm reiterating right now, I'm practicing right now, and I'm getting feedback individually. I get feedback from stages, from interviews, me giving them and receiving them. So at 5:30 this morning, I was on Book Yourself Solid. I've had 2 coaching calls already in this. And so one of the things that we started with to bring it full circle was, remember, those that are most comfortable and confident are most comfortable and confident because they have practiced it to a point that it's like clapping or something as simple as clapping. And you and I, both being sports fans, you see, I have a saying, the simple things to do are simple not to do because human nature doesn't want us to be consistent. But John Wooden, who has had a significant impact on me and so many others with the pyramid of success, that is actually hanging in Stanford's cafeteria, sports lounge, to show you how powerful the pyramid of success
Yeah.
is that they look over the fact that UCLA is one of their biggest competitive schools in the conference, but yet they're still putting John Wooden up there. John Wooden is, you need to be perfect at the simple things, right? You need to make and be better at the simple things. And so taking that philosophy, he would take the freshman basketball players and spend an hour teaching them to tie their shoes. I do the same thing when it comes to my content, how I capture it, how and who I surround myself with in order to make the simple things simple to do is because I am better at the simple things. I don't worry about the big things. I study the simple things, my calendar, my sleep, a variety of things that nobody else pays attention or gives intention to, thinking, saying, doing, and believing in alignment with what I call a divine direction. And if you're aligned with intentionality, a defined purpose in that divine direction, all the detours that you take become divine as well. And even moreover, the time that it takes to get what you want or better is in divine time. It allows you to have the patience to be ferocious and a Buddha.
That's David Meltzer. You can find all of our coaching calls on the digital hospitality feed, how we went from $0 in media revenue to over 7 figures in media revenue, on our way to 8 figures. David, how can people get your book?
Yes, please, for free. I will sign it, send it. I will pay for shipping and the book. All you got to do is email me, David at dmeltzer.com. That's David at dmeltzer.com. Shawn will put it in the notes, of
Yep.
course. I appreciate everyone. Remember, be kind to your future self and do good deeds.
That's David Meltzer. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Peace.
See ya.